Number one, I actually use this style shirt to backpack. Instead of a short sleeve or tank top or some other technical fabric, I actually use a full button down shirt for backpacking. Now, I've had people see me on the trail and they say, wow, looks a little formal for the backpacking, doesn't it? Absolutely. However, it's too hot, unbutton it, cool yourself off. It's too cold, button it back up. I completely stay out of the sun when I'm doing this. And number two, get a shirt with sleeve straps. These things are totally awesome because you can roll up the sleeves when it's hot, use the button here, and then attach the little sleeve strap. See if we can do this quickly without too much struggle. It's not exactly easy. And there you go. You get this bad boy all strapped up. And then I'm hiking, it's nice and cool, maybe I get some sun, and all of a sudden I get hit with a swarm of flies or mosquitoes, or maybe the sun's too hot. This same shirt that's buttoned up, buttoned down, I just simply roll my sleeve down. I might not even button the cuff here, and I'm ready to go. So this sort of shirt, even though it looks a little odd to be hiking in all formal wear, is actually super versatile, completely keeps the sun off me. It allows me to cool down, unbutton, cool down, or button up, and keep the bugs and sun off. So that's a real slick trick. Number three, use trail gaiters. Kind of angle here. I use these Outdoor Research trail gaiters. They're just low Rocky Mountain gaiters. And the reason I use these trail gaiters is because it keeps the rocks, the sticks, and the dirt completely out of my boots. I used to just go along, no problem, forget the trail gaiters, and eventually I would get rocks and pebbles and junk in my boot, and I'd have to stop and mess around. The next piece of advice is when you're taking your midday break, if you happen to be near a creek, completely take your shirt off and wash it in a creek. And then that's what I do to keep myself fresh, because after a couple days of backpacking, woo-hoo! Yes, terrible. But what I do is I take my shirt off, I get it in a creek and I just slosh it around, or maybe a clean lake, slosh it around, and I wring it out really well. Then I go hang it on a tree while I'm eating my snacks or my lunch and let the sun dry the shirt off a little bit. Now this only works in the summer when it's really warm. And then I put that shirt back on when it's still wet. Whew! That really, perks me up. But now my shirt is clean, I feel cleaner. It's just a huge psychological break. Plus that moisture in my shirt, when the sun is baking me in the Sierras or the Rockies or wherever you might be, it's a huge difference. The next tip is take off your boots and your shoes, or your boots and your shoes, or if your tennies and your socks at a creek stop when you're stopping. And this is the key, is multitasking. Stop to eat and eat your food. And I have taken my boots and socks off. I don't get my socks wet, but I wash my feet in a creek, get all the grime off my feet, let my feet air out, and this has really helped prevent blisters, because over time that dirt plus the sweat starts to rub on my skin and it starts to tear my feet up. I do pretty well with the triple sock system, but I've learned just stopping in the heat of the day, maybe washing my feet, just completely rubbing them and letting them fully air dry. Oh, the dogs feel so good. So definitely consider just a quick break of washing your feet. It'll make all the difference. The next tip is consider backpacking with cargo pants instead of shorts. I use these Eddie Bauer guide pants, and they've got the pockets here so I can put my bear spray, so I can get that out. I've got whatever items I have in my other pocket. I never use the back pockets here, but the reason that I go with pants instead of shorts is simply this. I've gotten cooked lots of times, I've gotten super dirty lots of times, and being grimy and getting in my sleeping bag, But more importantly, I remember going over Black Rock Pass in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, and I did 1.5 miles or 2 miles where the trail had been fully overgrown with thorn bushes. I mean, it was horrible. By the time I got down with my shorts, I looked like Hamburger, like a Wolverine had just completely shredded me. So even though my pants are a little bit warm in the day, it keeps the ticks off, it keeps the sun off, it keeps me cleaner. If I'm going through brush, I don't get all torn up. The next uncommon thing is I bought one of these, just a tiny little Z-Rest foam seat. It's 2 ounces, but boy, what a difference a day makes, because I'm not one of those that carries a camp chair. Don't carry a camp chair, but the log I'm sitting on right now is super dry, but I don't know how many times I've gotten up with a sliver in my backside, or I get up and even though I looked at the tree, I've got sap all over me or sitting on a rock. I mean, it's just super uncomfortable, but this little bit of weight makes all the difference in the world. That is a huge difference for me. The next thing that I use is Aquamira. Most long distance backpackers use Sawyer, the Sawyer little filters. Those are super great. They're faster than Aquamira. Check it out, it's just got the 2-part treatment here. I can open it up there. Yes, there we go. Got part A, part B. But I have been on backpacking trips where it's not projected to get cold at all, and I had it like in the middle of the summer in Sierras, 90 degrees, get to 10,000 feet, and all of a sudden the temperature plummets, and I've seen people forget their Sawyer filter in their backpack, and then the temperature drops below freezing, and then it damages the membranes in the Sawyer filter, and kaput. Sawyer filter ruined. What are you gonna do? That's why I like to roll with Aquamira, is because I've brought this in and out of freezing conditions. I mean, like 0 degrees, and it works. I have never had a failure yet with Aquamira. Downside, this can only treat 30 gallons. So if you're an ultra long distancer, probably what you want to do is take your Sawyer filter, just keep it in your sleeping bag. Make sure it doesn't have water in there, so it pours water in your sleeping bag. That can be a problem, but I prefer the Aquamira because then I don't have to think about anything. I put some couple drops in there. I'm ready to go. Yes, I do have to wait half an hour compared to the Sawyer, but no back flushing, no pressure issues, and no freezing issues. So that's what I roll with that. And the last thing that I have a tip on is, instead of using matches or lighters, I use the ferro steel strikers. These things are totally awesome. And the reason I use these, they don't suffer from altitude problems like a lighter. They can't get cracked like a lighter. They can't fail like a lighter. Matches I have had fail on me many times, like waterproofed and sealed containers and blah, blah, blah. Strike the match and nothing happens. Now, the problem with this is I don't get flame, I get a create flame. So if I'm in an emergency situation, and that's why I always bring a backup lighter, but I have used a ferro steel in Antarctica, Denali, Rocky Mountains, Greenland, everywhere, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and maybe I need to heat my fuel up a little bit, but the ferro steel is something that just literally will not fail. Another tip for a thing that I bring that is totally worth the wait, foam pad. This is 2 ounces, but it has totally changed my experience in the wilderness. Bringing this foam pad just makes all the rough surfaces, all the sap, all the slivers up the backside completely go away. This one is the Z-Rest Official. Just get the inexpensive one. I spent way too much money on this. When it's chilly, I can put my sleeping pad down, my sleeping bag on it, and then I put this under my chest area to improve the insulation under my sleeping pad. Thus, I have a warmer night. Those are my 9 uncommon backpacking tips to make your adventures using your backpack to experience the wilderness better fun. Please check out links below to all the things I've talked about.